What is up, guys? KFC for life here. This is going to be my Rs3 Ultimate Queen Black Dragon guide for all of you who do not exactly, or can't exactly be getting fluent kills. It is a harder boss, and once you know what you're doing, it's going to be pretty easy. So for information, it's level 900, it has 36,000 life points, and it has 4 phases. It's Slayer level requirement of 1, which whenever a Slayer Master assigns you Black Dragons, that's what this task is. It gives you 1693 XP. It's 3 to 5 minutes per kill, but once you get good at it, you can do 2 kills per overload dose, and it has some awesome drops such as the row crossbow pieces, a visage, and then the dragon kite shield. So once we move on to what your gear setup is going to be, obviously I bring my best melee gear setup, and that would be my anima gear, my drygores, and whatever, you know, the best thing I can bring. And obviously number 1 is definitely you want to bring penance, because that saves you from bringing any prayer potions. But also I want to say is I'm bringing melee because that's what works for me, but you can also bring range. It has no real difference. In my inventory I have an overload, I have some prayer flasks just for, you know, for make it easier, but then also at the same time you need super anti-fires if you want to make your kills fluent and fast. You don't have to bring them, but they're very, very helpful, because what it does is it's going to make it so you don't have to wear any anti-fire shield. I can just use my drygores, dual wield it. So obviously you need a higher herblore level for that, but even if you don't have it, you can also just bring an anti-fire shield, and that'll work just as fine. It's just it's going to take you longer for kills. And then obviously I have my full inventory filled with food, and then outside of that you can also bring a familiar if you want. You can bring a pack yak or a tortoise or whatever terror bird filled with food, and that'll work just fine for you. Obviously this works with range or melee, it doesn't really matter. Now if we move on to actually getting there, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be teleing to, from anywhere really, you're going to teleport to Port Sarim, and then after you teleport there, you're going to run a little bit up, a little bit northwest, and there's a little cave. Once you go inside the cave, you're going to run down these steps, and once you run down the steps, you go around the corner, and there's this little like thing you can slide down. When you slide down that's going to take you to the next level, and that's where the actual cave is. You run around the corner here, and this is the entrance to the boss. So once you're ready to actually kill the boss, you're going to go and pass through the entrance, and that's going to take you to this big room where there's the sleeping dragon. You're going to click on, well actually you don't have to click on it, it's just going to wake up in a second, and you can start fighting it. Now there's 4 phases as I said, so just set up your ability bar however you want and start attacking it. First phase, there's nothing really to worry about. Sometimes it might summon some stuff, but there's nothing too much to really worry about in this first phase. As soon as you're done, just click on this little pedestal in the middle, and then start phase 2. You want to use thresholds and stuff. Now there you saw some fire. I want to point out that the fire has little openings in between them, in which what you'll do is you'll run back whenever it says in your chat that there's you know, some kind of fire coming. So you're going to run through those little openings, and then you won't get damaged. So after you're done with phase 2, you know, you clicked on that pedestal up at the southwest, and you're going to continue attacking it. Now this is how it goes through all the phases. This is already phase 3 or in phase 4. It's super easy, it goes super fast. But obviously I'm just commentating over it to help you guys out. But I'll put up another kill that you guys can just watch fully through to see how I do it. But it's super easy, and that as soon as you do the last damage and hit that last pedestal, that's kill number 1 done. Now that kill took me, I don't know, like 2 minutes and 22 seconds or something like that, I don't know, something around there. And there's the loot that I'm just showing off there. It's a super easy boss to kill, and I'm sure anyone can really do it. Now while this live kill plays, oh, it's not live, it's just normal time, but while this kill plays, I just want to explain the different types of special attacks that the dragon has. It's gonna have 4, almost 5, it kind of just depends, 4 or 5 different special attacks, which that I want to talk about. Now the first one that I want to talk about is one that can happen on any phase, and that's going to be the dragon fire. It gets increasingly like more waves throughout however many phases you get through. But basically in the chat, whenever you see that the dragon's going to breathe some fire, then you just want to run back and pass through the little emptiness. There's little like breaks in the fire that you can just run through. You guys will see later in the kill, I'm sure, about how I just run through the phases. I run through the fire. Now the second thing I want to talk about is the ghost, which you guys saw right now. I'm going to do a little replay of what I just did there. But basically what's going to happen is that you guys are going to wait till it appears. You're going to wait like a quick second after it appears, and then you're going to run through it. And once you run through it, then what will happen is it'll shoot like a little fire at you, and then that'll like hurt the ghost itself. So basically there's only one ghost on like the second phase, but it gets or first phase, but it gets increasingly worse through the phase you go through, and by the last phase there's like 4 or 5 of them. So that's why you have to just watch out for that special attack. But yeah, even if you can't evade it, when it does actually hit you, it's gonna hit you for like 1,000. So make sure you're eating up for that, because you can die pretty easily from that. Now, so I explained 2 special attacks so far. The next one I'm going to explain is it's not really a special attack, but it's something that the dragon does. And what it does is sometimes throughout the phases, it'll turn different colors. Now it can turn 2 different colors. Well, right now it's just a normal color. It's just its green, purplish, weird looking color. Now it can change either to blue or like it's kind of like an even weirder green or violet looking color, and it'll tell you in the chat, which it just told me in the chat right now, I think. But what it will do is if it turns to this phase, the darker color, what will happen is it'll be harder to hit with any kind of melee, or any it has special different like weaknesses during these phases. So what will happen is during this this phase, this darker one, it'll have 25% increased damage against, and also 25% increased defense against these attack styles of range and melee. So basically if you're using range or melee, this is a bad phase for you because you're not going to hit as much. But then there's also the blue crystal form, and the blue crystal form, you'll do 25% more accuracy and more damage with ranged or melee. Now the reason for this is because some people actually used to use mage and stuff, but it's not really a very good attack style to use anymore, but that's why it hits all the attack styles this way. So basically it can't be more, you know, like unfair to one person or the other. So that's why you want to get the crystal phase, because you'll do a lot more damage on that, and you'll do a lot less with the other phase. Now another phase that I want to move on to, which is the last real phase and special attack, is the extreme hot fire. Now what that'll do is it'll say in your chat that it's gonna dragon's gonna breathe some extremely hot fire, and it's gonna breathe it down the middle. And what's going to happen is you're going to have to run either left or right all the way to the sides, because if you don't, it's going to do extreme damage to you, and you cannot stay in the fire for more than a second, because then it's uneatable and you're going to die. So you have to run to either left or right, and even then you'll still take some damage, but it's nothing too bad whatsoever. You can easily eat out of it. But yeah, as soon as you see in the chat that it's breathing extremely hot fire, run to the left or right, because otherwise you will die. Now the last one isn't exactly really like a special attack, but what it does is when you take too long to get to the pedestals, it'll start spitting out grot worms, and these grot worms, you know, one by one they're not too bad, but if you take too long for each of the pedestals, it'll stack up to, you know, 10 or 12 of them, and even at a high level like me, I'm still taking a ton of damage, and you can still pretty easily die if you're not paying attention. So yeah, you do not want to take a lot of time to get to these pedestals. You want to get there as quick as possible and click on it so it won't spit out grot worms. Like during the first phase, if you're quick enough, you can get there without even, what am I trying to say? You can get there without even having one grot worm spit out. So yeah, I definitely try your best to get to the things on time, so that way you're not having to deal with a ton of grot worms, which are doing a ton of damage to you. So I want to thank you guys for watching my guide. I know this was a little bit of a weird guide, and it was not really my style. I don't know why I couldn't really get into the groove of things, but I hope it still helped you guys out. And if it did, leave a like, leave a comment, and possibly comment down below what I can do better for future guides or for future videos. And you can also leave me ideas in the comments, because I do read all the comments. So I hope you guys will watch future vids, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.